KD Nation, I'm excited about this. This is really dope. Man, we go way back. I got to go ahead and show some love. Kokane, Mr. Shadow. I got to shout out Ice Cube. He not here right now, but listen, it's okay. We're about to hold it down. And let's jump into it right now. Certified G's. So Certified G's just dropped. Now, Cube recently dropped Man Up September 12th, his first album in over a decade, and tapped in with y'all for Certified G's. When that call came through, did you already know it's going to be instant history, or was it just some real ones linking up and cooking up some real shit?
I mean, we knew it was going to be big. Having Kokane and Ice Cube on the same record is like already a West Coast masterpiece, right? But the attention it's getting and everything that's happening around it is just crazy. So, yeah, definitely one for the books. And we knew, Coco knew, because we talk almost every day. Yep. And he tells me, man, this is big. And it hasn't processed. I don't know how,
But come on, when they called you, you're like Ice Cube. Like, what was your first thought, Mr. Shadow?
Well, we swung for the fence. Me and my manager, we just said, you know what? The worst thing he could say is no. So through my boy Coca, we hit him up. And then the homie JD just helped connect the dots. And it happened. And so blessed to have him on the record,
Man, hell yeah. So listen, Kokane, you've been part of the West Coast, music scene, the culture for decades. What's the vibe like now in the studio with Cube compared to like back in the Ruthless days?
It's beautiful.
Beautiful?
It's beautiful, yeah, because when you've been doing it a long time and you still have that youthfulness about yourself, it's just a beautiful thing, especially, that music is coming back full circle. And it's just, you got to think it's history in the making.
It
Because
really
he
is.
actually got two original Ruthless artists from the 80s. It's Cube and myself. And plus, it's something about the power of music that brings people together, all ethnicities, especially when you talk in terms of the black and brown relationship. So it's just not a record to say, we got a record together. No, this is going to affect the landscape of the West Coast and bring positivity together. So I knew once, he channeled that energy over here, that's me, channeled that energy over here, I knew it was something that the universe was involved in it, because Cube don't get down with nobody.
That's what I'm saying. Like this right here, like this is something special.
Yeah, so Cube felt his verse, ain't no, substitution for good. And it's at the right time. And he's, coming from his perspective, he's like, I'm very grateful for the Chicano community and all those people in the crowd. So to have a legendary person like Mr. Shadow, who's cool in the AC and dope, you know what I'm saying? It fit more than the OJ glove.
Oh man, come on.
It did. It fit more than the OJ glove. So, and also we got to give love to Dr. Evo and Knock, who came up with a slamming beat. Yeah. And it's our time, we have a chance to see your Kendrick Lamars and the youth come together. Now we're showing from the OGs, those that lead by example, that we can come together, still put out this good music, and represent the coast that we love, pave the way for, and that's the West Coast.
That's what I'm talking about.
So if you're a certified G, no matter where you at, you're going to feel this record.
I feel like I'm a certified G.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
I don't know. Listen. Hey, no, Shadow, with Certified G's putting San Diego on a major West Coast anthem along, legends, Kokane, Ice Cube, do you feel like this track was like, it finally like solidified like San Diego's spot, you know what I'm saying, in the hip hop culture?
Yeah, I mean, I did it in 97, but it didn't get the attention it's getting right now. But absolutely, I mean, it's so big that we got 4 news stations in San Diego that reached out that want to interview me because they feel it's something big for the city and for the culture and
Absolutely.
for Mexican to actually do a record with Cube. So yeah, here we are, and I'm embracing everything.
And I love that it dropped, you know what I mean, during Hispanic Heritage Month. I'm just saying.
Yeah.
Hey, but the track is really about unity, black and brown. How intentional was that message in the studio, and how important was it for you? I feel like black and brown is so important, and we need to talk about that and really preach that so we can come together.
Right. So a lot of people feel like, Chicano rap artists don't get support from black artists. Let's just be, honest. But I feel that doing this, and not only bridges the gap, but it solidifies that, if you dope, and it can happen. I mean, it absolutely can happen, and not just for me, but it can happen for other people. I'm not saying with Cube, but other artists can support, Mexican artists, and it's so dope though to be able to work, with legendary cats like Cube and Coca.
Yeah.
Because again, it's been done, but not on the scale that we're doing it. Like we're going all in.
Man, and that to me is such an amazing journey that you guys are taking on right now. Like as a Latino artist in hip hop, how do you use your music like to speak to the community during these times when we're dealing with ICE? We're dealing with, people want to pull us over just because we're speaking Spanish. You know what I'm saying? How important was that to you?
Yeah, I mean, definitely a voice to be able to speak to the masses. And the title of the album is I'm Done Bringing Back. And it's like you could be done with whatever. It could be done. We're done with ICE. We're done with the way we're treated, being profiled, and we want to bring it back to the way it was. And speaking on music, I'm tired of hearing stuff that sounds the same, and I want to bring it back to the authentic West Coast sound. But you can use that not only for music, but like I said, if you're done with the way we're being treated, if you're done with being disrespected, being whatever, we want to bring it back to the way it was, which there was more love in the atmosphere, you know what I mean?
And it's the way it should be. You guys just mentioned, Dr. Evil, Nocturne, but when you first heard the beat, let me ask you, like, as artists, do you lay down the hook first, or is it the verse? Like, how does it work?
Nah, so on this one, Coca laid the hook. He laid the hook first. Yeah. And we just followed his lead. So, we just spoke on stuff that we've done, not just make up some stuff. And then, Cube asked to hear my verse first. And after he heard it, I was like, okay, cool, I'm fucking with you.
When he asked to hear your verse, does it feel pressure? It's Cube.
I mean, it wasn't,
I know. Listen, it wasn't, let me not take away. You're Mr. Shadow.
No, right.
You know what I'm saying? So you already know, but it's still, it's Cube.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I took that into consideration, and I gave it my best. I mean, the man has so many accolades, and just for him to be like, you know what, let me hear you first. It was more of a test, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, so I came with it. I sent it to him. He's like, okay, I'm fucking with you, and
that's what it was, man.
In fact, he said, this shit, shoot, is hard as.
He probably said, this shit is hard as a motherfucker.
Yeah.
When I talked to my manager, we to this day we still hasn't processed fully. You know what I mean? Because I mean, not only that, but just being at the video shoot and him showing so much love and having Coca there and even JD from the Lynch Mob was there, and I mean, it was just cool, man. That whole day was just a dope ass experience.
Yeah.
Nah, and honestly, like, from one Latino in hip hop to another, like, thank you for holding us down. You know what I mean? Yeah. It means a lot for people like me.
Right.
You know what I mean? Because sometimes, just as, Latinos or however you want to say it, Chicanos, we're in hip hop. Sometimes, like, we just want, like, a head nod. That's it. You know what I'm saying? Because, we have contributed to the, hip hop culture too, and we love it and we embrace it. I love Kokane, like the rapper. Y'all see how I do that, right? Okay. No, we go way back for real. Like my days at Wild 96, man. You've always been a real one. Like you've worked with Dre, you've worked with Quick, you worked with Snoop, Above the Law, but for some reason, it's never gone to your head. You've always treated us at the radio station like family. You know what I mean? You're just good people. But like working with all these legends, like who pushed you the hardest in the booth, or who did you feel like you had to step up your game? I mean, Quick is a legend. Dr. Dre, Above the Law. So who did you feel like in that you're like, man, I got to push just a little bit?
Well, you had to set the bar when it came to Ruthless Records. You had DLC, NWA, Above the Law, JG Fed. You had I'm talking about in the 80s, and I just wanted to show, instead of just saying put me on, that when you hear cocaine, it's like you on cocaine. You know what I'm saying? Warning, listening may become addicting. So it was easy for me to channel that when you had greatness at Ruthless Records.
Right.
And because of the success of Ruthless Records is a significant part of K-Day. It's a significant part of Death Row. It's a significant part of anything that has to come from that tree. So I was very proud to be able to, be around Easy, who showed us the first way on how to deal with black and brown relationships through the power of music by putting on, Rest in Peace Toker, Danger, Brown Side, Kid Frost. So he was way ahead of his game. And what better way to learn when you can be a Danielson learning from a Mr. Miyagi?
Yeah.
So that really challenged me to say, I'm going to go ahead and do it. And at that time, the FCC laws wouldn't permit them to say my name on the radio. This is way back 1990, 91. It was a little bit different. But then that challenged me because those doors being shut in my face turned me into a beast. And years later, I became the most featured on Fact, the most featured recording artist, over 4,000 features, actually. You know what I'm saying? So between Guinness and other things, by next year, it's going to be inducted into it. And they say, why are you still doing what you're doing? Because I believe in God, I believe in family, and those things will ground you in this crazy illusion game because people come in and they go out. But me sticking to it is my purpose, is to inspire the world, not just to have on a Fifi bag saying I'm a most featured this, because the rich man and the poor man is grave. So what you think you're doing, they're going to take with you. You know what I'm saying? So I just keep it humble on the rumble, 10 toes down, and I'm about the music and I'm about the business.
And that's what it should be about, is the music, the business, the culture, the community. You know what I'm saying? Because that's what we live every single day.
Absolutely.
Mr. Shadow, after dropping 20 plus albums, countless features, what keeps your hunger alive when you still step back in that studio? What is it that keeps Mr. Shadow's hunger still alive?
My family.
I love it.
Right.
First and foremost.
Yes.
Sure, you're right.
Yeah, family, it's just, I want my kids to see it and feel it and experience it. I take my wife and my youngest daughter on tour with me everywhere I go. And for the same reason, I want them to experience what I experience.
Right.
So.
I think that's beautiful that you take your family with you.
Yeah.
Because also too, I think it's so important that music is such, an important part of our lives, that the people we love, you know what I'm saying? When you include them, they feel it too.
Yeah. Yeah, my older kids, my 26-year-old and my 24-year-old.
You got a 26-year-old?
Oh, yeah.
Well, I told you, black don't crack and brown don't frown. Yeah.
Yeah. My oldest, we were just talking about this in the car.
I told him he looked like he's 25.
Yeah, I was like,
Yeah,
26-year-old.
right.
Give me some of that shit.
I know you're Latino, but damn.
Yeah, no, I just turned 46 on the 6th of September. So my oldest son and my oldest daughter, which were my first two, they've experienced everything with me as I was growing as an artist, and they were literally 4 and 2 years old when she was old enough to understand, that her dad was doing music. And yeah, man, they're super proud of me, and it feels good that, my oldest daughter will be there today, so you'll meet her.
Oh, I can't wait to meet her.
And you'll meet my youngest, she'll be there too.
Oh, how cute.
My son couldn't get off work, but yeah, I do it for them, man, and more than anything, for everyone that supports my 30-year career, I have a lot of people that still rock with me after 30 years, and that feels good to be relevant and for people to still want your music,
I feel like your fan base is so dope. It's a cult almost too. They follow wherever you go, and that says a lot. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, yeah.
That speaks to timeless music.
I got people driving in from everywhere tonight, from Vegas, from San Diego, from LA, from Vegas.
K-Day?
Yeah, from K-Day.
I'm just saying.
Yeah, my big bro, he's over here from Portland, so.
Yeah, yep, Washington.
Oh, Washington. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
So, it's dope to be able to give people more of my music and them embrace it.
Kokane was such an iconic voice, because that's what it is. Your voice is iconic. Let's just put it down. With Certified G's, from Dre to Snoop to Cube. What new artists would you be down to work with and that you've looked at?
I'm always looking for, like a Jordan, a Kobe Bryant.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? In this game, we come from the age where you had to have talent and you had to have the right attitude, because your attitude determines your altitude. And basically, you could be talented all day, but if you have the right attitude, I love messing with upcoming artists. You know what I mean?
Is there some that we should take a look at and we should be like, CeCe, pay attention to this artist that's coming up right now?
Yeah, Shadow.
Yeah, let's go. Come on.
Yeah, Shadow. But, big ups to all the upcoming artists that understand the whole dynamics of the music industry, because it's not enough just to be creative. You got to handle your schematics. You got to handle your business, administration. You got to be able to know about publishing. So sometimes, for those that are serious, it's cool to put the blood down for a second and read a couple tutorials to absorb the, how to put out records, when to put out records, when to protect yourself, because the game is always evolving. Mm-hmm. And last time I was coming up here to expressing, it was years ago, about .com sites. Now everybody see what Spotify is doing.
Yeah.
So it's about, you know, being ahead of the game. And when you stay, anybody you stay consistent, any time you stay consistent or stay in a positivity or rhythm, there's things that manifest on a quantum level where you don't have to ask. It's cool to pursue, but never chase.
That part.
So, you know, for all the upcoming youngsters out there, one thing you have to do is learn about it before you even do it, you know. And if you have the right attitude, I'll mess with you all the way. I'm Uncle Coca.
I love
Come on
it.
now.
I
That's
love.
what
Well,
I
you know,
do.
you said recently like over 4,000 collabs. Which one left the mark? Which one that you know the collab that you did that you're like, this is about to leave a mark in the hip hop culture? I already know from being from the booth. Who was that?
Certified G's.
Come on, come on.
Now
Yes.
I do gotta, you know, because I pay homage to that, you know, Nipsey Hussle. You know, I was with him when he first started, with him when he launched you know, the marathon.
He was special.
The Mr. Untouchable record.
Right.
He was very special because he did it at an early age. You see what I'm saying? And
But
that's
also,
what
too,
made
I think
Pop
he was special
too.
because he respected the culture and he
Right.
understood the culture.
Absolutely.
And I think there's some artists that, you know, that don't understand it so much, but there's some that come and they move accordingly
Right.
with that respect. And I think that's what Nip had. You know, you guys just said right now, like the way that the music industry is always evolving. I mean, let's talk about it from, you know, tape decks to CDs to Napsters to streams to now social. How is grinding in this game change? And what's the biggest move did you have to make differently? Because even I, as a radio personally, had to learn to make moves a little differently to stay relevant still. What moves did you guys have to make and move differently with?
Stick with the people.
Okay.
Stay with the people. AI can never replace this. They're doing a pretty good job. You got AI artists. You got a lot of this.
Let's talk. What
fuckery
is
going
with
on.
that though? I don't like that.
Well, what it is that, you know, the independents are really starting to rise and control their autonomy. Nobody wants to get .007 on the dollar no more. It's like you put all this investment in there for these tech companies to go ahead and feed their family, but then suck the blood out of the artists, and you do not. For a while, we wasn't getting our money.
right.
But now that a lot of people are starting to wake up, we can control, you know, and we have to get a .com site. We have to because they got over 500 different AI artists. They one just signed for $1 million, and it's a Ponzi scheme. Everybody's
Yes.
in the Ponzi scheme. But in order to get out the matrix system, you're gonna have to learn how to control what comes in and what goes out. And see, that was Nipsey was on. He was basically articulating to the youngsters that, look, hey man, it's cool to do business, but don't let them dangle the meat over your head. Control. You do not need 8 parties on your money no more. And see, corporate don't like that. But we the people don't care what the corporate like because it's ran by the people, for the people, by the people. And that's what we're getting back to. And I'm excited to see his MrShadow.com, IceCube.com,
Yes.
my buddy boy ENT.com, because it's important. And if we don't do that, you know what I'm saying, then it's going to turn into something else. And us as artists and musicians and radio personnel, it's about the people. So my thing is, as long as you in tune with the people, they're in tune to you, that's a divine exchange. You know what I'm saying? And this is what we're doing. This is
And
why we're
AI
out
can't
here.
duplicate that
AI
at all.
AI don't have no soul.
No.
Bottom line.
Right.
So my thing is, stick with the people with soul.
Absolutely. Mr. Shadow, looking at, you know, how Chicano rap and the Chicano culture are blowing up worldwide. I mean, I'm seeing it now and I love it. Thank you, because, you know, soy Chicana. But what's it like knowing that you were one of the first to lay that brick, that foundation? Man.
I mean, I've came a long way. You know, I was 16 when I first came out with.
I'm
Till I
sure
Die.
you learned a lot in this game, too.
I also made a lot of mistakes.
Really?
You know, so it was a learning. I'm still learning. You know,
Well, back then, too, we didn't have social media like
didn't.
that. So
We
we
had to
was
put in
really
that
just doing it on our
footwork.
own.
that footwork. We had to drive to, you know, distributors for them to buy in bulk and ship them out, and the Violet Browns, and
shout
you
out to
know,
Violet.
shout out to Violet Brown, because she would call up and be like, "Yo, I need 10,000 until I die." You know, I got to supply warehouses in all the nations. So, it was like I said, I made a lot of mistakes, and I have no regrets. Only, you know, all experiences and all lessons, and I just try to fix them as I was going, and I didn't do a record for a while for the same reason, because I was tired of all the.
Was that hard? Because I'm sure there was people in your ear like, come on, man, you got to come out with some new music. What's going on?
Yeah, so I took a lot of time out because I was a single dad for a long time, and then after that I had a stroke, and that took me out the game for like 3 or 4 more years. So in total I was out the game for like 10 years. People thought I stopped rapping. Some people thought I died, but yeah. So I haven't released a real record since 2012, and that didn't get no shine because I did it from a hospital bed. And then
What? You did it from a hospital bed?
yeah, I released a Spanish album and an English album from my hospital bed. I recorded it before I had my stroke, and then through my laptop, and my producer, Wise Guy, he was bringing me pictures and stuff. And you like this cover? You like this cover? And then we released it. It didn't do nothing, you know. It's one of my best albums, but then I met my manager, and he was like, "Hey, why don't we do an album?" I was like, "You sure?" He was like, "Yeah." I was like, "Okay, well." So here we are, you know, and the record's crazy. I got Big Bro Coca, Ice Cube, Be Real from Cypress Hill.
Shout out to B. Yes,
Yeah.
he just killed it last night at Yamava.
Yeah, so
Yeah, that's awesome.
yeah, so now, you know, blessed to be doing everything I'm doing, and tonight we celebrate.
Tonight we celebrating, yeah, and the fact that I didn't even know you had a stroke. I
had
mean,
two.
listen, 2 strokes.
6 years ago I had another one.
Wow.
Yeah.
But you don't even like nothing.
God's amazing.
God is good. Yes.
Yeah, you gotta keep God first in everything you do, you know.
I love it.
To all the youngsters, you know, put God first, then learn the business, and then do what you want to do.
Yeah.
Yes, and you know what? To a lot of youngsters, we see a lot of young Latinos right now coming up in the hip hop game. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And doing the Chicano rap, and I see that it has this whole new wave. At the end of the day, when people look back at Certified G's and your catalog as well, Kokane, what do you want the legacy of Kokane and Mr. Shadow to mean for West Coast hip hop?
Total inspiration. Being able to identify with the good, the bad, and the ugly. You know what I mean? Because unfortunately, diamonds are not made by feathers; they're made by pressure. You know, so when I reach that silver lining, I just want to leave something to inspire the whole world, because that's all we got to leave: inspiration for elevation. So if I can elevate the culture through my own personal testimony, and going back to what you said, God delivered me from a lot of crazy things. Yeah, I was a crazy vato at one time.
He was.
Yeah, but see, God will allow you to go use that to become a diamond, and especially if you go through it, a certain amount of pressure, you become a rare diamond. So God blessed me enough to become a rare diamond.
You don't remember, I don't think you remember this, but 20 years ago when I was at Wild, it was me, you, and Chris Lose, and we were all sitting down. And this is when I first met you, and I was like, oh my God, I'm sitting with Kokane. This is crazy.
Right.
And you talked to me about God.
Oh, yeah.
It was a whole hour conversation, and I was sitting there and I was listening, but I was shook because I didn't think it would ever come from you to talk to me about God. And I just thought it was so dope. And ever since then, it was like, man, like I held you, you know what I mean, so high, because I'm like, this is crazy. Like I'm just this young, new radio personality, and I've got this legend just sitting down talking to me for an hour, and he didn't talk to me about anything else but God.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I remember.
You do remember? Okay, I didn't know if you remembered, because I wasn't a big name back then.
That's what I'm gonna leave, and continue to give good energy, because it's about the vibration of good energy, and God is the universe. And a lot of times, youngsters, or when you're trying to do what you need to do, don't allow outside forces to rent space in your mind so you produce their results, especially when it's negative. It's best to stay focused and stay in a rhythm of positivity. That means you got to feed your spirit, and you got to get away from things that are hindering your spirit. I had to move out of here to get my things straight. But once I did, I seen what God was doing, and like the brother said, I live with no regrets. I'm glad God picked me to be able to go through it and show people how to persevere, not only in our personal life, but still in this music. I'm the most requested person on the planet, and how you do that, that's God saying, I got purpose for you. Because a lot of times when I'm talking to these young cats, it's not always about music. It's about God. It's about how you doing. It's about, man, you feeling all right?
Yeah, I can sit there and I could co-sign that because I've experienced that personally from
Yeah,
you.
so that's my thing. And everything that we do, I don't mean to bleed your ear, but everything we do in life is just a catalyst or a footstool for you to inspire other people like you at the radio, you popping, we all doing this music, whatever the business is because it's a footstool to get people's attention that never thought you'd get their attention.
Right.
And that's what we're doing with Certified G's. We're getting the youngsters' attention to say, with all these things, the testimony, that you can do it. We're a living example. We need living examples, not just samples.
Right. I love that. We definitely need living examples. And I love that, you know what I mean? It's all about the black and brown, unity. When people come up to you and they're thanking you for that and they're like, man, this is what we need. How do you feel about that?
Again, it's crazy that, it's me that's kind of...
Are you the first Latino Chicano rapper that Cube has linked up with?
Yeah.
Yes,
Okay, let's talk about that. I'm sorry.
He's done something with Be Real.
Yeah.
But like Chicano rap, independent artist, yeah.
That's dope, Mr. Shadow.
Yeah.
I would be flexing on that right now. You know what I'm saying?
That ain't me, but all the glory to God. You know what I mean? And we're God fearing men. Coco will call me and goes, "Hey dog, before we even start talking, why don't we say a prayer?" And he says a prayer, and we say amen, and we start conversating. Yep. So, and that's a beautiful thing. And that means more than he knows. It means so much to me. So, and we have a cool bond. And sometimes we just talk about like he says, Papa Jesus. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
But yeah, like I said, I'm super, super grateful for everything. And some people might not see it as the bridge being, the gap being bridged or whatever, but that's what we're trying to do, because we're stronger in numbers. And I think this song, anybody can be a certified G.
Yes. Now let's say, you know what I'm saying, we've got a lot of young artists out there and they love it and they're like, man, we're banging with this. And they're like, let me jump on this remix. Who would it be?
I think me, Cube, and Coco would have to have a huddle. They'd have to bring it. Like again, right now we're living in the age where it's not so much about talent, it's about popularity, and I don't
like that though.
I don't
wish
really
it was
see
about
how to
talent.
exactly like back then when I was starting, when he was starting out. I mean, it was about talent. If you didn't have talent, you weren't selling records.
That's what it is.
And we didn't get to be worldwide if we didn't have the talent. And now we go into Japan, Germany. I mean,
Germany.
Dang, so you guys are traveling.
Yeah, and then people get mad when I say this, but there's really a difference between rappers and artists. Rappers are rappers and artists are traveling the world, singing, performing in front of people that are singing your songs word for word but can't even talk your language. I experienced that in Japan. And
does that trip you out because you're like, you don't know English, but you know
crazy.
Every single song, every word.
Then you get off stage and they got the meet and greet and they can't even communicate with you. And I'm like, well, you were just singing my songs, but it's crazy. It's crazy. It's amazing. And again, it's something that I'll never understand. But I understand it kind of because, I listen to reggae and there's some songs that are in Hebrew and I sing them word for word. And I don't even know what they're saying, but
no way.
It's just the way the song makes you feel.
That's what it is, right?
Yeah, there's no barriers from music, so.
Oh my God, and it's going down tonight. Let's talk about it. The album release party.
Yeah.
I'm excited. The whole afternoon ride's gonna be there. We're pulling up on them, and we're gonna celebrate with you guys. And I just want to really just give you guys your flowers because what you're doing is you're continuing to carry the West Coast. You know what I mean? There's nothing like West Coast hip hop to me. No. Born and raised here, I love our sound. I love our culture. I love our unity. And what you guys are doing is you're carrying that torch. So thank you both for that, and keep doing what you're doing, man. I love y'all. I really think no, for real, it's I really fuck with y'all. And I think that what you guys are doing is amazing. And Certified G's, this is dope because I feel like the West Coast is full of some Certified G's. Yes. Yeah. Let's go. We celebrating you guys tonight.
Yes.
There it is.
Thank you, sis. Love
I got you.